Chapter 3. Bertie stared out of the window at the vast blue sky. They'd been flying for ages now. Dad was listening to his music on his headphones. Bertie had eaten all his sweets. He was bored. A flight attendant came past, pushing the drinks trolley. Her badge said Tina. Bertie nudged Dad. "Can I have some crisps?" "What? No! How about a Coke?" "You're having nothing," said Dad. "Now read your comic." Bertie sighed. He'd already read his comic and done his sticker book. It turned out they weren't even showing a film. No wonder the airline was called Cheapy Jet. He found a button on his armrest that he hadn't tried yet. Clunk! His seat suddenly flipped backwards. "Ow!" wailed Susie. "Mum!" "Bertie," sighed Mum. "It wasn't my fault," said Bertie. "How did I know that it was going to do that?" "Just sit still and leave things alone," said Mum. Bertie tilted his seat back up. He'd been sitting still for ages. His bottom ached. He poked Dad again. "What now?" said Dad, removing his headphones. "I need the toilet." Dad sighed. "It's at the front." Bertie clambered past Dad and Big Ears and made his way down the aisle. He had to pass Tina, who was heading back with the drinks trolley. Bertie eyed the bags of crisps hungrily. "Can I help you?" asked Tina. I need the toilet," said Bertie. "Well, it's occupied at the moment, but you can wait outside," said Tina. She disappeared behind a grey curtain with the trolley. Bertie stood, tapping his feet. Whoever it was in the toilet was taking ages. He wondered what happened when you flushed the loo on a plane. Did everything shoot out into the sky? Tina came out again, and she went down the aisle with the trolley. Bertie stared at the curtain. Maybe that was where the drinks and snacks were kept, the ones that nobody wanted. It seemed a pity to waste them. No one was about, so he slipped through the curtain. He found himself looking at a wall of metal cases. Bertie tried to open one, but it wouldn't budge. Then he spotted something else, a panel of switches and buttons on the wall. At the top, just in reach, was a large red button. Bertie had been told 1,000,000 times not to touch things, especially things like worms and snails. But buttons were different. Bertie loved pressing them because he wanted to know what they did. Maybe this one fired booster rockets or set the plane to warp speed. Bertie reached out a finger and pressed. Whoop, 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 whoop. Yikes! A red light began to flash. Bertie ducked back through the curtain just in case Tina came hurrying up the gangway. "I'm sorry, you'll have to return to your seat," she said. "But I still need the toilet," said Bertie. "The seatbelt sign is on. Everyone must take their seats," said Tina firmly. Bertie headed back with the alarm ringing in his ears. People were looking round. This was not good. What if they found out it was him who set off the alarm? Maybe he'd be arrested or thrown out of the emergency exit. Chapter 4. Bertie sank back in his seat. "What's going on?" asked Dad. "I don't know," said Bertie. "I only went to the toilet." Dad clutched the arm of his seat. "What's the alarm? Is something wrong?" he worried. "It's probably just a mistake," said Bertie. "A fire alarm or something." "A fire alarm?" cried Dad. "Did you say fire?" shouted Big Ears. Bertie wished he'd never mentioned it. "I didn't say there was," he began, but it was too late. The rumour was spreading from one row to the next. "A fire? Where?" "I don't know. Someone said they smelled smoke." "Oh, it's one of the engines. Good grief, are we all going to be all right?" Dad had gone white. He was breathing heavily. Big Ears was arguing loudly with the man in front. A baby started crying. Bertie sunk down in his seat. "Help," he thought. "All I did was press one little button." A voice on the tannoy rang out. "If I can have your attention, everyone please stay in their seats. There is no reason to panic." Flight attendants hurried to and fro, trying to calm people down. Tina came past. "What's that alarm?" Big Ears demanded. "Oh, nothing to worry about, sir," said Tina. "Are we on fire?" "No, of course not," said Tina. "Whoop, whoop, 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 whoop." The alarm suddenly stopped. Silence fell. It was broken by a new voice over the tannoy. Captain Rogers here. Awfully sorry about that. It seems someone set off an alarm by mistake. Anyway, no harm done. Please remain seated while the cabin crew come round and serve refreshments. Everyone breathed a huge sigh of relief. Big Ears went back to his paper, muttering to himself. Dad slumped back in his seat, exhausted. Bertie puffed out his cheeks. Tina appeared again, pushing the drinks trolley. Any drinks? Tea? Coffee? Juice? She asked. Tea, said Big Ears. And while you're at it, maybe you can tell me how this alarm went off. We don't know, sir, said Tina. It could have been a passenger. Well, where was it? Tina pointed. In the serving area, past the toilet. Dad frowned. A worrying thought crossed his mind. Where was Bertie when the alarm went off? He turned to him. Did you have anything to do with this? Me? Asked Bertie. Yes, you. Did you set off the alarm? No, said Bertie. I never touched it. Touched what? Said Dad. You know, the thing, the red button. Dad narrowed his eyes. How do you know it's a red button? He said. Nobody spoke much to Bertie for the rest of the flight. Dad kept his headphones on. Mum had her nose in a book. Now and again other passengers turned round just to glare in Bertie's direction. At last the plane came to land. Dad grabbed their bags and they hurried off. At the bottom of the steps a young man was waiting. He handed them a card. Would you like to fill in our Cheapy Jet survey? He asked. You could win a free flight for all of the family. A free flight, said Dad. Fantastic, cried Bertie. Mum and Dad looked down at him. No thanks, said Dad, handing back the card. We are never going on a plane again.